lower back's a little sore. Been working out for a long, long time, but about several months ago, I started flipping. It's probably not the tractor tire, to be honest with you, but I started flipping a tractor tire wheel over at the YMCA in Appleton, Wisconsin. Tell you what, it's a great workout. But I was a little worried that it could hurt my back. And I don't know that it did, but my lower back's a little sore. I haven't done it in, I don't know, a month. Maybe it's aging. Maybe it's, I don't know. Hold on, I left a cup of coffee over there. Left a cup of coffee over there. I like to have 2 cups of coffee. I realized doing this show in this hotel. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Muriel. I realized doing this show that 1 Yeti full of coffee, especially when I put the sweet cream in it, really isn't enough. Good morning, Thomas Bello. Slept in this morning and felt real good. I worked last night for the first time since being in my new town. And I think the job's going to be a really good fit. I think the opportunity is much greater than I thought. It's just like a bridge gig till I find out what I really want to do when I grow up. But I think the opportunity at this restaurant will fit my skill set and my financial needs, which removes a lot of pressure from me. And I think because of it, it kind of calmed my mind down and was, I don't know, relaxed when I woke up. Woke up at 4:30 this morning, had to go to the bathroom. Last couple days, I've woken up at that time and felt like I needed to get up and act the way you need God to make it grow. And I think sleeping in is an example of giving God a chance to make, and it feels nice, again, waking with a calm mind and letting things be. You know, I've been working out regularly, but your body also needs rest. You can't work out 24 hours a day. You can't be at work 24 hours a day. You can't even again, yeah, you can't, you got to give God time to make things happen. And I think for me, I'm always trapped in fight or flight mode and rushing. And I don't know, figure the faster I move, the more I'll accomplish, or the quicker things will change. And sometimes it's nice to have just get some rest and move a little slower. Kind of funny. Yesterday was my first day at the new job, and I have today off. Perfect example of going a little slower. But anyway, I did kind of enjoy reading a bit of this for you guys. If you guys don't like it, you can change the channel. It's this Experiencing God Day by Day. I'm not, you know, what I'd call a holy roller or a Bible thumper at all, but I think when I read a little bit of from this book, they're just little one-page excerpts written by some guy who was very spiritual. I think it's a good way to start my day. It's kind of like stretching. It's a stretching of your mind or your heart or your spiritual muscles, if you will. So I'm going to read one for you. And again, these are designed to be like one page each day, and they each have a date on it, and this one's January 8th. So I'm not going to catch up, but I'm just going to ignore the dates they put on these. Exceedingly abundant. Wait, I'll have to say that again. It's kind of hard to say. Exceedingly abundantly. Now to him who is able to do above and beyond all that we ask or think according to the power that works in us. Ephesians 3:20. At times we feel as if we could impress God with all we are trying to do for him and his church. Yet God is yet to be impressed with even the most grandiose human aspirations. Psalms 8:3-4. You will never set a goal so big or attempt a task so significant that God does not have something far greater that he could do in and through your life. Saul of Tarsus worked harder than anyone else to impress God with his efforts, only to discover that his greatest achievements were but rubbish compared to God's will for his life. Our problem is that we become too easily enamored with our own plans. If we are attempting to do noble or difficult things, we assume that we must be experiencing the maximum potential for our lives, and that God must therefore be pleased with us. Until we have heard from God, we cannot even imagine that all that our lives could become, or all that God could accomplish through us. We need to remind ourselves that the Father sees the big picture, that his power far exceeds our limited imagination. We must set aside our own agenda, however lofty. We must never become more satisfied with our own dreams, for they are finite at best. When we follow God's direction, we will witness things happening in our lives that can only be explained by his powerful presence. How could we be satisfied with anything less? I don't know if you guys listened to that or were listening to me talk a little bit at the beginning, but I think that goes kind of hand in hand with what I was just talking about. How I wake up and I feel I have to get to the gym, I got to do my show, I got to read this, I got to FaceTime my kids, I got to get to the coffee shop, edit videos, get an app, get to work, be the best waiter, worker, or whatever I can be. And I feel like my life and my thoughts often are just me running on the treadmill or a little mouse on the spinning wheel or what have you. Thinking the faster I go, the sooner I'll get there. Not really realizing, I don't even know where there is, but like racing through life and charging ahead and thinking I'm throwing on my Superman cape and flying off to some grand adventure, and missing, not letting God do his thing, or for me personally, missing what's happening in the moment too often because I'm always in a rush to get there. But anyway, good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Wednesday morning. It is February 25th. It's 8:18 a.m. Happy Wednesday. Coffee with Ken is a show I've done for a long time, and a show about me talking, show about me sharing some feelings, sharing some of the ups and downs, the thoughts, the lessons learned of one man as he charges through life. But for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking. It's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. And I'm so excited to have my first sip at this late hour for me. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Mel said he often describes his life as being on a hamster wheel, but you have no grand adventure. Almost didn't go live today because I'm going, I think maybe part of Coffee with Ken is feeling like I gotta squeeze every ounce of something out of every minute. And if I wake up and my mind's racing, and rather than take a deep breath, pray, experience, or be grateful for something, maybe read the Bible or from this book, just chill out, go for a walk, stare out the window. I feel I got to get up and do something. And oftentimes at, I don't know, 6 in the morning, what feels productive to me is doing Coffee with Ken, because heaven forbid I might not get every subscriber, possible. If I don't go live every day and talk for long, and I wake up at 5 and my mind goes, oh, I FaceTime my kids at 6:45. I need to get going, because if I go now, I'll have 80 minutes of talking and then be able to FaceTime them. But if I lay here much longer, what am I going to do? Maybe I should go after. And my mind's just going bing, 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 bing. Tonight this morning, it just drifted back off into sleep. Felt real good. Talk about planting seeds. I recently moved to Illinois from Wisconsin to get closer to my family and friends. And been in this hotel. I left a beautiful apartment in Wisconsin and didn't have a job lined up or a home lined up or money to pay for the home because I didn't have a job lined up. And I moved here and been here for about 9 days and enjoying it. It's a good temporary spot for me to land. I'm fortunate to have found it, and was kind of frantically looking for work. I mean, it's hard not to. It's hard not to. I'm not sure it's the same thing as me waking up at 5 o'clock to do my show, to FaceTime my kids, to get to the gym at 7 a.m. When you don't have work or any source of revenue and you have lots of expenses, and it's hard not kind of frantically looking for a job. But still, I think there were times in the last week and a half that I'd, be checking my emails to see if anybody responded, or checking Indeed to see if there was any new, I don't know, app or jobs posted online, or looking around for, again, when I got here, been looking mostly for like restaurant jobs because they're easier, quicker to get, and fairly fast income, but looking for new restaurants that I hadn't walked into. And again, just going through it with a real frantic perspective. Got a job last night. It's they're fairly fully staffed, but I think in the next month or so, there's a couple people leaving, and I'm going to get a lot more hours. And I talked with the guy that trained me, and the vibe at the place is super cool and kind of matches me. Kind of casual fun, but we'll just leave it at casual fun. I was going to say but something else, but I'd call it casual fun, but kind of fitting who I am. And not as big corporate as some of the jobs I've worked in the past with strict corporate rules. I don't know if any of you have ever been a waiter, but I was working at Texas Roadhouse a year ago. Just got started there. And they have rules that kind of change and get passed down from, I don't know where those rules come from. I didn't love them all. But either way, this one seems a little more casual, and they feel if you've waited tables, you know what you're doing. And as long as you're not doing something really wrong, they're going to give you room to be yourself a little bit, and that's a nice feeling. But yeah. Mm. Good morning, Julie Flanagan. Oh. Mm. Every now and again, I have viewers that misunderstand the point of this channel and think that I'm asking for their advice. So right now, if you're out there giving me advice on this channel, I think you're misunderstanding the point of it. A lot of times people give advice and they don't have a clue, to be honest with you. Uh, yeah. I had a woman reach out to me and uh, asked her how she was doing this morning, and she wrote a whole list of things. And I could have torn apart her list of things and advised her on everything she said. And I actually started to, and then even tried to change it into something inspirational for me to say to her long writing. And I decided not to respond at all and just let it sit. And figure she maybe just needed to say that. She didn't need me even to say it'll be okay or way to go or wow, you got a lot going on. And I think in life we have people that want to show how smart they are or how they have the solution or kind of they can help or they maybe it's good motivated. Sometimes it's not though. And yeah, this show's not about me getting advice. Just a guy talking. But again, I came here, I planted a bunch of seeds, and almost at this point, given how well last night went, that I have more seeds start to sprout out up than I know what to do with. And from a variety, wide range of career paths, from very casual uh, to like regional sales rep or director for fairly sizable companies. That's kind of fun. But it's nice that I went last night, enjoyed the atmosphere, felt good, and I think there's a lot of revenue potential. Uh, from last night's job. Hello from the UK. Oh. Somebody just said they misunderstood. They thought I was asking. I mean, you want to discuss that? Did it sound like I was asking? Did I say, hey, does anybody have any ideas? Did I say, what do you think I should do here? I don't think I said that. Let's see. Oh. So I got home last night and must say, I don't want to necessarily talk politics, but I was kind of curious what the State of the Union would be. I don't care what your politics are, but Donald Trump is very entertaining. The things he says, the things he says, I think I mean, he called out Nancy Pelosi. She's in the audience. He mentioned her by name for insider trading while she's in the audience. It's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, he had people on the, ironically, they're the people on the left, but they're to his right, heckling him. He had the Somali woman from Minnesota, yelling at him in the audience. It's amazing. Afterwards, I flipped to CNN to see what the people on the left. Obviously, you could watch Fox News, and if you watch Fox News, I guarantee everyone would have thought it was the best speech ever. But I was kind of curious what the people on CNN thought. And I'll tell you what, I think they were fairly impressed with it. They probably hated it, but they also thought it was well done and he accomplished a fair bit from what I saw. I mean, he called the people over there to his right crazy. Again, it's amazing what he says. It's hard to not chuckle a little bit. Somebody said that shows you that Trump isn't some scared politician. Well, he's certainly not. No, but it's amazing. Somebody from Canada said, please stop harassing our economy as it's bad enough. Wonder what's wrong with your economy. And I wonder how I'm harassing it. What's the woman's name? What was it? They were part of the squad. There was like 4 women. It wasn't Alexandria Cortez. The woman from Minnesota, though. You know, she was cupping her hands and yelling things. I'm sure there's probably been more. Oh yeah, Ilhan, reverent State of the Unions, but always a little bit. Ilhan Omar. I'm sure it's always been kind of awkward because, whatever politician, whatever party the president is, unless they're saying something, there was a few things that everybody stood up on, which was nice. And as a guy that considers himself fairly middle of the road, I would like if everybody stood up all the time and cheered, or didn't stand up, because again, it gets a little repetitive sometimes, especially if you're not liking what the president's saying. But it does get a little repetitive. But it'd be nice to see more united support. But perhaps to expect or to think that's the way it's going to be might be naive, especially in this day and age in politics. There were two yelling at him, one calling him a liar. Yeah, well, that one was definitely Ilhan Omar. I mean, I don't know. She was cupping her hands and saying something. And I think there's uh, okay, I'll go into it a little bit. I'll talk more about it. I'm fairly pro immigration. Um, I've worked with lots of good people from all parts of the world and wondered why they should be kept out or not allowed all the freedoms or blessings that we have here in the United States. But I also generally don't like big government, and apparently, what big government leads to is a little bit of what was happening in Minnesota regarding those daycares. And I don't know the specifics, but apparently there was a lot of daycares getting huge federal amounts of federal money and not doing anything. Maybe not even being operational at all, but a sign slapped up on a space and we'd start throwing money at it because it sounded nice having uh, supporting, daycare, childcare. Seems like a good cause. But it's only a good cause if somebody's just it's not a good cause if somebody's just slapping up a sign on a wall pretending to be something and taking billions of dollars of federal money. And I think too often that's what happens when we're dealing with real big government. Mel said, I'm for immigration. I don't know if I said I'm for immigration, but either way, does that include illegal immigration? I don't like the thought of the government kicking doors in and dragging people out and throwing them back to some country. I would like to maybe change somehow the immigration process. I mean, honestly, I don't want a mass influx of people from another country and suddenly our political system changing to that of the other country, because that's not what made our country great. Most of these countries have been around a lot longer than us, but we very, very quickly became a world player. And not only that, but a country that oftentimes leads the world. Somebody hopped on from Canada, said, hey, leave our economy alone. It's already bad enough. But the only way they would say that is because we are in a powerful position enough to do something to their economy. So I don't want our system changing. I like our Constitution. I like capitalism. I love free speech. I reluctantly support the right to bear arms. I don't think women should be required to wear burqas, if I'm saying that right. They can if they want. But I don't want our country changing. And I guess maybe that's the fear that, I don't know. That our system could change if we just allowed endless immigration from other countries to the same system of the country they fled. You see it in the States. let me tell you, the people in Texas don't love that half of California has moved into Texas. You know, and brought their politics with them. I guess if you want to bring your politics with you, maybe you should just stay where you are. You're already immersed in the results of your politics. Tara said it's not right. I'm not sure what you mean, Tara, but all right, Tara said they should not come illegally and get our social services. My guess, and I would say the biggest influx of immigrants continues to be from Mexico. Sounds like there's a mess going on in Mexico. I'm telling you, just as a guy that's worked with a whole lot of people from the country of Mexico, the ones I've met are always hardworking and generally family first and faith first type people that work hard and generally do jobs we don't want to do. I would guess most aren't just pouring in for our social services. But again, and I don't know the full story, but what they're talking about happening in Minnesota does seem problematic. Hey, Schlegel's here. Wait, Tara said something about Utah too. Somebody says deport the Californians. You mean out of the United States or just out of Texas? Somebody said states like Florida and Texas should constitutionalize a law making voting in state local elections until having a 2-year minimum residency. Yeah. Tara said Utah too. You mean Utah's getting a lot of Californians? I know Idaho is as well. Schlevel said you would think Cali would be the Democratic Mecca. I understand why they wouldn't all want to go there. Janet thought it was funny that Trump said he thought the price of meat had come down. Janet, I'm going to say I don't think it's gone up. I think there's a false belief. Believe me, I don't think I'm doing this politically. Housing's gone up in the last 2 years, but I mean it spiked dramatically about 5 years ago. Gas prices have come down, and I don't know, I buy a lot of ground beef. Not in this hotel. But over the last couple of years, I buy a couple pounds a day, and believe me, I analyze the prices. So I don't think that meat has gone up. I mean, I'm not saying he might not say something that's totally full of it, but I think if I bring up inflation on this and people act like the prices of various things are still skyrocketing, and I think that's politically leaning. And I guess you could say the same about me, but I don't think so. I'm a guy going to the grocery store trying to find ground beef for under $5 a pound. I watch. I'm frugal. I notice. 4 or 5 years ago, I was working at Super Target in the cereal aisle, and I cannot tell you, the box sizes were going. I'll tell you what, a box that used to be like this called family size was shrunk down to this and still called the family size. And then they came out with a box this big and they'd call it super mega huge size and charge like $12 for it. Come illegally, you should go back. I notice you don't read comments that invalidate my beliefs. Well, there you go. You might You might have a hole in your head. And I have that, by the way, if I want to ignore the crap out of you, I'm going to ignore the crap out of you. Let's see. Californians to Utah, lots of comments disappeared. Takes and poopy streets. You did a double take when you saw a box of eggs for $60. You didn't see a box of eggs for $60. What are you talking about? Were these golden eggs? Somebody said, why am I blocked? Well, you're not blocked. But if you're saying vile things, YouTube's going to screen you. But I don't know if I even want to address it because you're kind of hostile. REG 3305. Your hostility is interrupting my ability to take you serious. So I don't know if I want you on the stream anymore. If you're going to lead with hostility towards me, I won't keep you around. It was a bigger box, but yes, it was. Hold on here. I almost want to ask if the price sticker was wrong. WMCC, I'm fairly sure if you saw $60 eggs, the sticker was wrong. Unless it was from the goose that laid the golden eggs. Somebody said how Trump is fixed on the price of eggs. Honestly, I didn't see him mention the price of eggs yesterday. You made a comment about the president. YouTube screens various comments. If you are getting hostile with me or YouTube determines it's hostile, they're going to screen you. It's that I don't like people that counter my narratives. I'm reading about $60 eggs and how they think the price of meat has gone up. I just don't like hostility, and you seem hostile. So I'd rather you leave. I don't mind somebody discussing this nicely. He did mention eggs. He might have. I was too busy laughing at him calling out Pelosi. And looking over with disgust going, how do you not stand for that? These people are crazy. It's amazing what he says. Oh. I don't know if I have more to talk about the State of the Union. Kept going. Honestly, I got home from work. I was watching for about an hour and a half. I had to go to the washroom. I didn't want to miss any. Somebody said, people get hostile when I ignore the obvious counters to some of the stuff you made up. No, people are hostile that are hostile. I don't make anybody hostile. I didn't make you hostile. You seem to be a hostile person. And frankly, I'm bored of you. I've tried to be nice, but your hostility won't be tolerated anymore. I'll tell you what, you do that more in life. Remove people that want to argue with you or fight with you or say mean things to you to counter your opinion. You don't want to be followed around with people that want to counter your opinion about everything you say. Find your people. You're going to have a happier life. I'll promise you that. He was not my people. He was hostile. Hello, Leon. I like when it said, Leon said hi. Hello. Hello. Bald and glad. Yeah. Uh, I mean, to even say bald and glad, so many people hop on and discuss my baldness like it's an issue. I don't even think about it. You know, I don't wake up every day and think about being bald. I don't take my baldness day to day or day by day. It's kind of the same with alcohol and not drinking. I don't even think about it. You said politics brings out the good and the bad. I think that person had a weirdly hostile edge. I think YouTube might have screened a couple of their comments and he was getting angry at me about it. He needed to chill. I tried to tell him he needed to chill. He said, "Oh, you make people hostile." I don't make anybody anything. People are who they are, you know? You can't make people happy. You can't make people good, kind, honest, loving, hostile. They are who they are. And choose your people wisely. Mm. Yeah, Greg, he might have needed another cup of decaf. I think he was like a raging conservative. And what's so strange is I'm a conservative. Uh, let's see. Am I a Trump supporter? What does it mean to be a Trump supporter? Did I vote for Trump? Yes. Did I vote for Trump twice? Yes. Did I vote for Trump 3 times? Yes. But I'm not totally sure I'm a Trump supporter. I mean, I listen to what he's saying. I laugh. I don't think it's totally right that he refers to Elizabeth Warren on the last State of the Union as Pocahontas, or necessarily that he calls half of the people in there crazy. I'm not sure that's the way to do it. I just can't believe he called out Nancy Pelosi by name. I wasn't even sure she was still alive, honestly. But then they put the camera on her. She's in the audience. Tara said she's part Pocahontas and you thought it was funny. I couldn't believe it. He did it at the State of the Union. It wasn't like an off comment in an interview. He doesn't hold anything back. I think that's why he gets votes. Would I vote for him again? I don't know. Who would he be running against? I'd certainly consider it. If you put up a stiff like Joe Biden, heck yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump again. I think the Democrats got to face it. It's their fault Trump's in office. It completely is the Democrats' fault that Trump is in office. Own it. You put up a stiff that couldn't make a cup of coffee and called him president because he was a white old guy that you thought would get elected. That disgusts me that you did that. You got to put up a guy that was so beyond his cognitive abilities because you thought you could control him like a puppet. Shame on the Democratic Party. Shame on you. You got Trump in the office. Makes me sick. Really does. If you want to piss me off, it's that Biden was paraded out there, was wheeled out there and said, hey, it's an embarrassment to the system that is our country for you guys to put Biden out there as president. Shame on you. Nothing disgusts me more than that. You knew it and you lied to the world until it became so embarrassingly obvious that he didn't even know what room he was in. And you're telling me he can negotiate with China or Russia or come up with any thoughts of his own? No, you knew you could control him, and that'll piss me off. You guys got Trump elected. You guys got Trump elected. Julie said Kamala Harris ran against him only after it became so obvious that you propped up this stiff. And then you put in a woman that had no ability either because she never got elected to anything besides California something or other. You know, you completely bypassed the voting process. Sounds sleazy as hell to me. Trump can't put a sentence together. He's got his cognitive abilities. He's always spoken like this. He's always spoken like this. He doesn't hide who he is. Yeah, he doesn't hide who he is. He's not a puppet controlled by his party, I'll promise you that. And in that way, he's a breath of fresh air. Kamala Harris is and was way more intelligent than Trump, maybe. I mean, does she have a higher IQ? Probably. She's still a horrible politician and will never get anything, do anything in terms of president again. She got swept aside. And she'd get swept aside again. The Democratic Party could have got the people in the middle of the country, but they didn't. They didn't. They decided to run so far left that it left people that have voted both ways, but no choice. She is very well-rounded and educated. Who? Kamala? Again, are we trying to get the most educated person? In what way is she well-rounded? He was a draft dodger. Who? Trump? I don't know. I talk politics like they're reality TV, and it's that type of person who put Trump in office. I don't know what you mean. We love America and people of USA from Iran. Are you from Iran, really? I'm not sure what's going on over there. That was one time both sides of the aisle stood up and applauded. Okay. Yeah, that was one time. And again, I don't like war. I really don't. But all my life, I'd heard that Iran can't be allowed to get a nuclear weapon. And Trump's the first guy to seem to really want to do something about it. I don't know that I like that he's doing something about it, but all my life they've said Iran can't get a nuclear weapon. Both sides of the, but they were getting one. And Trump actually is doing something about it. So, mm. Oh, oh, feels so good. Feels so good. Uh, just showed the world that we could have a big weakness in our country because we can't get along. I, I don't know specifically what you mean. We're not seeming to get along so well. I'm assuming at some point there's going to come in a kind of middle of the road politician that wins the hearts and minds and inspires the country. And I don't think this is the first time. I know it's not the first time we've been extremely divided politically. I think it's happened throughout our history, but there's been times when the country has rallied around and been inspired by certain politicians, and I think it'll happen again. What do I think about the Epstein files? Not a heck of a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even really know anything about it. It sounds like it was a real ugly, weird, gross thing that everybody was super involved with, which is all grotesque. I think Mel Gibson was more right than people care to admit about a lot of things many years ago, and he was laughed at. For the record, somebody's saying he said he would vote for Trump a third time. Uh, I've already voted for him 3 times, just for the record. Somebody said he did amazing last night. Honestly, I think he did, and I think everyone knows it. He maybe propped him up and used the U.S. Olympic team and war heroes, but he created a sense of pride in our country that, okay, let's keep going. The Democrats don't have. The Democrats walk around ashamed of their country. They've started to put their arms around the flag, which is nice to see. But 4 or 5 years ago, they were ashamed of the flag. They were ashamed of police. They were ashamed of the country. And that's not going to win the hearts of the middle of America, the central people. You had to be way left, I think, to vote for these people. Jesus is our only hope in the times we live in. Mm. Oh, looks like a beautiful day. It's been cold and extremely windy lately. Might still be cold out, but it doesn't look like I don't hear the wind rustling through the wind or pushing on the windows, or I don't see the trees out there shaking too much. Got my whole day in front of me, which feels really good. Somebody says it's chilly. Is it? But at least it's not crazy windy. Crazy windy sucks. Even when it's fairly nice out, crazy windy sucks. But when it's cold out, and I think most of my coats are packed deep in my car. I know where they are. I could get a heavier coat, but I'm wearing this very light coat, and I feel it's been hard to warm up lately. Okay. Somebody said, it's a beautiful day if you're a white person. Huh. Must be horrible going through life feeling that way. Yeah, it must be horrible going through life feeling that way. Do all my t-shirts have the American flag? No, just this one. I don't think I have any other shirts with the American flag. I bought this. I was working at a place that I needed a July 4th uh, shirt. So I bought this. It's comfy. Does my American flag on the shirt offend you? I think it does. I think it does offend a chunk of the society, and that's frightening. Somebody said all people in America have the same rights and laws. I guess you're not talking to me about that. You're probably talking about that person a little bit ago. If every day is not a gift, you might be in the wrong reality. It'd be best if we looked at every day as a gift. But even as somebody is desperately clinging into gratitude and faith, it's easy to get your mind not super excited about every moment. I think at least for me, I know I struggle keeping focused on the positives and on gratitude, but I do my best. Yeah, I talked about it. Crunch Fitness is a great gym. It might not have all the bells and whistles, but it's got everything I need and more. I think I could sign up for classes, but I was debating maybe not going today. I don't want to get too huge. I wouldn't fit on the camera anymore if I got any stronger. Mm. Oh. We need to not paint every issue with broad brushes. That's what Greg said. That wasn't for me. I was trying to wonder what issue or what specifically he was referring to. I think I'm capable of yeah, I'm capable of yeah, I'm capable of discussing the issues and digging down deep. And I mean, I don't even need to reach across the aisle about some of the issues because I don't think I'm on one side of the aisle or not. As a matter of fact, I probably think I'm not on a side of the aisle. So I'm kind of sitting there going, hey, immigration, can we talk about it? Aircraft carriers going into Iran, can we talk about it? There's only one issue that seems, I think the one issue that's most divisive is uh, the pro-choice slash abortion issue, and that's one I don't know how we can come to any sort of middle ground or understanding or okayness in this country. Again, it's such a personal and painful issue, and to so many people. That's one area. I think the rest of it, I don't know. I don't think anybody wants to see homeless people in the streets or have people starving in America. Um, but I think there'd be ways to, uh, I guess, the way we go about solving issues. I think oftentimes the left thinks bigger government is the solution to the problem. And I think generally the right thinks bigger government is the problem. Somebody says it's a disgrace to our great cities. Hey, somebody sent me something. I'm not sure what that is. Somebody sent me a laughing disco. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if I've ever actually gotten a laughing disco. If you're going to get a disco, it might as well be laughing. Well, Leon, sometimes the live stream freezes. Well, that's okay. Yeah, sometimes things don't work perfectly in life. But we do our best. We deal with freezing live streams or flat tires or bills to pay or arguments with a boss or a loved one, and we keep going. Would I back a Rubio or Vance ticket? It seems very like, I mean, would I back? I'm not one that's going, I think that both of them could be very good candidates in 2028. It seems Rubio's got a lot of respect in Washington. I don't know him that well, but again, he seems like a very serious, to the point of almost dry candidate. But Trump was talking to him about him being a great Secretary of State for a while. And again, I don't know him that well, but he seems like he's garnered a fair amount of respect being Secretary of State. I don't know what his policies are or what I've not heard him talk a whole heck of a lot, but he seems well respected and seems like he might make a good candidate. I'm wondering who the left is going to put out. I think the right has a whole bunch of people they could put out. I think Vance, Rubio, just start with there and end with there. I don't know at all who the left's going to nominate. Gavin Newsom? I'm not sure why. He's kind of a good-looking dude with good hair from California. Yeah, I think the right has a whole bunch of. Which one would I choose? You heard DeSantis is a good governor of Florida. For some reason, I liked DeSantis during a lot about it. I think during COVID, I connected with him because he kept Florida as open as possible. So I have a soft spot for DeSantis, but he seems kind of goofy. He was a guy in the military, so he must not be totally goofy, but he seems kind of goofy. J.D. Vance or Rubio, who would I choose? I don't know who I'd choose. I haven't heard him talk. Tulsi Gabbard was considering. Who is Tulsi Gabbard? Is she on the left or right? I don't even know. If DeSantis had stage presence. Well, that's kind of what I mean. There's something about him seems soft, and I'm not against a soft human. Maybe a soft president. I mean, I don't know who I'd vote for right now. She's in Trump's administration. Okay. I knew the name. I can't even picture her, though, what she does. Vance. Oh my God. Is Vance? Oh my God. You don't like Vance, or you do? You used to really like Tulsi, but she tricked you. Okay. Well, somebody say somebody on the left who's going to run for the left. Okay. Schlevel said DeSantis is a great governor, but zero charisma. Yeah, I kind of feel that. Hello, Jim Rat. We're discussing politics this morning. I watched the State of the Union last night and got thinking about it, so we started talking about it. Somebody say somebody on the left that's going to run. The guy from California. But I think, okay, maybe that's what I'm saying. I think the problem with the left is I think they feel the machine is what's important, not the man or the woman in charge. And it's not supposed to be about some machine. I've heard J.D. Pritzker. YouTube blocked your left potential runner. Josh Shapiro will probably run for the left. Who's Josh Shapiro? I'm drawing a blank. Mark Kelly, I don't know. Gavin Newsom, he's been a disaster as governor out here, but he's more of a disaster as president. Why am I so hard on California? I don't know that I've been hard on California at all. I think California does enough embarrassing of themselves. I don't need to say anything. I haven't been to California. I don't know, but from what I hear, it's a mess. AOC would do really well for the left. I mean, do you think that? I mean, and as a guy that served bar, she'd go from bartender to president in about 15 years. I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong, but it seems kind of strange. At least I know AOC. I wouldn't vote for her. I mean, I probably think she's a nutcase. Jim Rat says, as a resident of California for 52 years, we should be laughed at out here. It's an absolute beautiful state from north to south, but the politics has made this place look and feel yucky. That's what Jim Rat says. Kelly is from Arizona. And is Kelly somebody on the left that might run? Again, I've heard Pritzker. What I'm saying is, I think the left has probably no chance as we're sitting to win the presidency. It sounds like they might win the House and the Senate back. I think apparently midterm elections are always hard on the party of the president. And apparently they might be this time. But given, and I know it's still early, we're still a couple of years, 2.5 years away from a national election, but at least as far as for president. But I can't even imagine. Gavin Newsom's the only, I mean, AOC, she's not going to win. I don't think. I like AOC better than Kamala Harris, to be honest with you. Kelly is a senator from Arizona. Shapiro is a governor of Pennsylvania. Both are Democrats. But I can't even picture them. Nancy said, it just needs to be someone under 60. These old white guys are getting tired in more ways than one. I'm quickly becoming an old white guy. Somebody said AOC and Mandani are representing New York well, proud of the Northeast. I don't know if you're serious or sarcastic. Again, I don't know them enough. Kelly is a bald white guy who used to be an astronaut, but now is in politics. Okay. I just sit back a little bit. Gym rat, I might not go to the gym today. I slept in. Been really productive lately. Been working out hard. Might take the day off. Might not. Don't know what my day will hold if I do take it off. Nancy says she's old too, but no desire to run for president. I wouldn't want to run for president. I don't want to be. I just wouldn't have the balls to do it. I can't imagine how Trump can sleep through the night just having so much hatred thrown his way. And the fact that he doesn't shy from it at all. I mean, he's entertaining. I think politics is going to, what's going to happen to politics after Trump leaves? These are the days we'll talk about politically. Kind of like when I watch a golf tournament right now, I'm going, I miss Tiger Woods being there. I think we're going to miss having Donald Trump in office, just because he moves the meter. And Tiger Woods used to move the meter for golf. It was almost must-see golf. And Trump makes it must-see politics. I tuned in. If it was Joe Biden speaking last night, I wouldn't have cared. But I was curious to see what Trump would say, and he did not disappoint. Hold on here. Let's see. Somebody said, AOC and Mamdani made New York, what once used to be a great city, into one of the worst U.S. cities in terms of affordability. Okay, well, New York was never really affordable. Cleanliness. It's had periods, huge periods of very dirty. In the 70s, it was very dirty. Homelessness, illegals, crime, business, leaving, high taxes. And I'm not disagreeing necessarily, but just let me throw out all the things you just mentioned about New York City have always kind of been an issue for New York City, right? Haven't they always struggled with high taxes, crime? And I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just, well, and Mamdani's only been there a few months. So I don't think he could have done that. But maybe, and I'm not disagreeing, but everything you just mentioned about New York City, I think's always been kind of mentioned about New York City. Somebody said, I think it's about demonizing the other side. Everyone is picking and choosing which facts they think matter to make the other group look bad. Schlevel said she watched Biden for blooper reels. I felt bad watching Biden. I felt sorry for him. I was ashamed of our political system that he was allowed to be wheeled out there, given a speech, and he fumbled through it embarrassingly. I was embarrassed. I was saddened. I get where you could be embarrassed because Trump might say something asinine, but he's not doing it by mistake. New York is still a great city, and it always has been expensive. Prices are coming back down, but that's no one's fault. It's because of stocks and economic cycles. Schlevel said towards the end it was elder abuse. I kind of think so too, Schlevel. I kind of think so too. I mean, he was such a puppet thrown out there by his party because he fit the suit, because he was a white old dude. Rudy G. and Bloomberg made the city into the great city it used to be. So you're saying New York had like a heyday in the mid to late 80s to what have you? Politics in 2026 has never been more divisive. Now, all I'll say about that, Jim Rat, apparently, and I'm going to go way back into the election in 1800, between Jefferson and John Adams. Apparently, that was about as hostile as politics has ever been in this country, which makes me feel a little bit better that politics has always been extremely contentious here in the States. Uh, did we decide anything today? Did we figure out anything? Or did we just share a cup of coffee? Maybe the goal isn't to figure out or fix or save or change anything. Maybe it's just to talk and have some coffee, spend a little time together. Sometimes it seems like politics is just a soap opera that we choose our own adventure for drama's sake. It's sad. You're right about that. Jim Rat, that is so correct. Regardless of sides of the aisle, regardless of political beliefs, regardless of the wind, the temperature outside, the work I have to do or not, the fact that I may or may not go to the gym, one thing is truly reliable on this show, and that is the glory of the audience. Greg said he liked the presidential photo Trump put up in the White House of an auto pen in place of Biden. I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see it. Schlevel said the trolling was strong with that one. I don't know what you mean, but I like your allusion to Star Wars. I watched a little bit of Star Wars the other day. I kind of miss Han Solo. I didn't know I liked him so much. He really grew on me over the 50 plus years he's been in Hollywood. I watched a little bit of Han Solo, a Star Wars story, and it had the younger guy playing a young Han Solo. And I'll tell you what, he did a real good job of that as well. Had kind of the same charming, charisma, jokey side to him that I found enjoyable. Mm. Ah. But it is Wednesday morning, and it is 9:30. And for joining, I appreciate you. I hope your week's going well. We're on Hump Day, and hope you had a great night's sleep. Hope you're excited about your day. Hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.